Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another UFC fight prediction video. In this video, we'll be predicting the full card of fights for UFC 295 Prohaska versus Pereira. And before we get into those predictions, we're gonna recap last week's card and some key events and what is next for some of these fighters. So for last card, I went 7-2. I ain't gonna do the one and the other two because it just wins and loss that matter at the end of the day. It went to a draw. This guy slipped on the soap and bust his head. It don't matter who fought and won, who like fought and lost. That's what it don't matter. So went 7-2. So basically 9 fights. Not 9 fights. I had seven right, 2 wrong. So great card on that side. My parlay went terrible. I mean, it started off to a good start. Well, actually, no, it didn't even start to a good start because I think the first play on I had in it didn't go through. I tried to no,
Fernandez.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try to force that to go, and then down the stretch. So I think only maybe one thing on that parlay hit, maybe two, but yeah, it was just not a good parlay. And I'm not going to even just chop it up to this Vegas rigging anything. It was just bad plays. I tried to force one thing on a fighter that barely had I think it's not Fernandez. Yeah, I tried to force something on a fighter that hadn't even had a barely any tape, like I said, like a minute of tape out there on him. And then yes, the main and co-main event were, had unpredictable kind of outcomes, but there was enough, I guess, out there to foresee those things happening. So just bad reads, kind of. I think Almeida was like not that bad, but I ain't gonna get too much of that. But stuff you can improve on. It's not just saying just blaming on rigging and stuff. It's better just to see it as this reason why that went wrong, why this went right, and whatnot, so that you can make a better set of just throwing your hands in there and saying blaming it on rigging. But yeah. So bad probably, but we'll bounce back. And how did you do, Nikki Betts?
Yeah, I same thing. The Ellis Brenner fight was my first, I think, parlay. The over 1.5 I went and he just starched him in like 90 or sorry, 59 seconds. So that kind of screwed me. So did the Bonfim play, but I won't doubt Nicholas Dalby from now on. I'll say that. But as far as what I went 6-3, I believe, including Nicholas Dalby. But I think the Jalton Almeida, I think I did bet because I think it was a ridiculous amount that the fight goes a distance in the Jalton Almeida fight, which saved me. But it was just it was an all over the place kind of card. A lot of fights got canceled. There was a draw. Yeah, so it was kind of all over the place as far as cards go. The week before was definitely way more predictable than this card was. So what do you think's next for Gabriel Bonfim after that?
Gabriel, I think he needs to take. I can't even think of an opponent because like I'm really not thinking about him too much, but I think he needs to take a step back, either get a stylistic matchup guy that has poor submission defense or poor striking, or area where he can fully exploit them, or has a clear advantage on, or just in general, I think he needs to take a step back and maybe pile up 2 more wins. Maybe fight some debuting guys, maybe fight some guys coming off the contender series. Get him back on his horse. And I definitely think he needs to be able to go some rounds and work on that and work on it in the gym because that's going to be another thing people will look to challenge him in going forward. This guy can't embrace the grind. He's a first round or bust, or second round or bust, or when you make him, force him into a corner, he crumbles. So it definitely gonna need to take a step back. And I obviously don't think they're gonna rush him forward and act like this was just a fluke. I think they're gonna take it for what it is. And him and his team, and I think even the UFC matchmaking is gonna, give him easier matchups going forward for at least the next 2 fights. And he's still a young enough talent that they ain't gonna try to rush him back. I feel like they're gonna try to probably give him like the Terrence McKinney route where he's on right now and get a couple of these debuting guys that he's easily running over. And I think they can do the similar with Bonfim till he gets his steam back. So that's what I think for Bonfim. That's what's next for him. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I honestly I think that he after him that I guess that was the first time he went into the second round or something along those lines. And I think I think they need to give him 2 layups, 2 easy fights to get his confidence back, and then give him a 3 round fight that might go 3 rounds so that he can get that experience. Because, like you said, he kind of just crumbled. And I mean, he was getting hit with some shots, but like the guy he was fighting was like 22-4 at the moment, and everybody should have been like, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. He was like minus 650 or some crazy number like that. So I definitely won't doubt Nicholas Dalby. If he's fighting an up and coming fighter, I'll definitely give him his praise. So yeah, what do you think's next for Nicholas Dalby?
Nicholas Dalby, I think he could be a good feeder for a top 15, top 10 guy. I think give him one of those type of fights and really like sink or swim. Like, he's at this point in his career, he put off a big win, big upset. And I don't think he's not trying to go around and just fight anybody and just sit around the division. He wants to see if he can climb to the top. So it's like, here's your time. We'll give you some of the best guys or one of the best guys, probably give you some like the low hanging fruits in the top, 10 and 15. And you're either gonna win or you're gonna lose. I think that'd be a good matchup for him. Or any of the guys in the top 10, 15 be a good matchup for him next. And yeah, that's about all. I can't really think of any names too much off the top of my head. Maybe Kev Holland. Kev Holland again needs a win, coming off a loss. So Kev Holland could be a good matchup for him. Maybe a Vicente Luque or something. I'm just trying to think of some names, but
Yeah,
yeah, I think
Vicente Luque, Jack Della Maddalena, Neil Magny,
yeah,
Michael
Jack's
Chiesa.
on a streak, so he ain't stepping back to fight him. But Holland's coming off a loss, so Holland matched up with him perfectly. And there's gonna be some other guys, but maybe even Buckley. Buckley's coming on the come up. That'd be a good matchup. So those are my ideas for potential matches for him next. What about you?
Yeah, no, I think I was gonna say Renat would be good, Michael Chiesa would be good, Magny would be good, and so would Kevin Holland. But I think somebody like Joaquin Buckley would be a great moment for him to shine and really show us what he's made of. Because he came out in that fight and just looked like he never stopped and took his foot off the gas. It was just all gas, no brakes. So he got the win like that, and I respect the man for it. And I think he should get a top name, maybe even like a main event, because he just did a co-main event and did really well. So yeah, that's my thoughts for him. What do you think's next for Gelton Almeida?
I think Jota Almeida. I think he had a dominant performance. He did what he needed to do. Obviously, he couldn't get the finish, but or people had some stuff to say about him, his performance. But yeah, that type of performance is not gonna get you that next title shot. So I think he made the right decision calling out Ciryl Gane. And Ciryl Gane, he had a good performance, but he turned down, he did the wrong thing. He started saying like, I'm not fighting Aspinall. I just want to get the belt and stuff. So he got passed over. So both of those guys made mistakes in one way. Ciryl Gane had the performance, but he didn't have the right post fight energy. He was just trying to jump to a title shot, and that caused him to lose a title shot. And Delta Almeida just didn't follow all the way through. He didn't put a stamp on Derek Lewis, so he lost his opportunity. So they both match up pretty well in that sense, and I think that's perfect next matchup. But how you feel?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. I think you have to be like Sergey Pavlovich and Tom Aspinall in that sense, or even like a Conor McGregor, where if you want the belt, you say yes to anybody. You don't ever say no, even if you have to give yourself just a little bit of time and be like, listen, I will fight this guy, but just give me 3 to 5 months. Let me train for him. Let me prepare for him. In that sense, but also Gelton's got some pretty significant wins on his record, some pretty dominant wins. So I think a Tom Aspinall or a Sergey Pavlovich fight would be probably push him to his limit. But at the same time, I think the Ciryl Gane fight is a perfect matchup for him. I think it would be, everybody would want to watch that. Like, I can't wait to watch Sergey Pavlovich versus Tom Aspinall this weekend. So yeah, those are my thoughts though.
All right, cool. Now on to the predictions. So in our first fight, we have in the featherweight division, we got Dennis Bazooka versus Jamal Emmers in the featherweight division, if I haven't already said it. And how I feel about this one right here, I'm going Jamal Emmers, average confidence to beat Dennis Bazooka. Um, yeah, the confidence could be all over the place. Well, I want to say high. I think confidence right where it needs to be, but I feel like it can shift between average and low. But I'll stick with average here against Bazooka. Bazooka, I think he took his last fight on short notice. He shows good heart and overall decent skill set. But in his last fight, he just showed like good overall skill set, but no real standout skill. Like in striking, he was getting outstruck by Sean Wilson, was behind from the start of the fight, couldn't find no answers on the feet. And then in grappling department, he was supposed to have a grappling advantage, but Sean Wilson took him down like 3 times. I think he held him down like 3 minutes into that third round. So he got beat in the area where he was supposed to have the biggest advantage. And so yes, that's a big concern. I ain't coming in here against Jamal Emmers, who I feel is a more complete fighter than Sean Wilson. Maybe not as good of a striker as Sean Wilson, but a better overall fighter. Definitely a better grappler. So I gotta go with Sean Wilson there. I feel like I'm not Sean. I gotta go Jamal Emmers here to be able to mix it up and maybe exploit some of that grappling on Bazooka, get some control time in there, outstrike and be the cleaner striker, use that experience, and then be able to mix the takedowns as well to drain time off the clock, get some control time and make the decision a little bit easier for the judges to score. So in this one, I got Jamal Emmers via decision. Now over to Nikki Betts.
Yeah, I'm going low confidence Jamal Emmers in this one as well. I did like Dennis. I do think he has some great potential. I think that he's definitely on the come up. As far as like his skill set goes, I don't think he is a better fighter than Jamal Emmers, hence why I'm not picking him. I don't really like the odds on this one, minus 325, just because of what happened last weekend with the minus 650 that just killed everybody's parlay. But I like the over in this one. I think you're right. I think it goes to decision. I think Jamal Emmers figures out a way like Mark DeCasey does to outmaneuver his younger and more inexperienced opponent. Their average Dennis's average fight time is 15 minutes and Jamal's is 11:21. So I'll definitely be going with the over on this one. And I think that's a safe bet. But in this one, I got low confidence Jamal Emmers. But as far as my bet goes, I'm going over 1.5.
All right, cool. Now to our next one. We have in the flyweight division, we got Joshua Van versus Kevin Borjas. And how I feel about this one right here, I'm going Joshua Van, average confidence to beat Kevin Borjas. And the confidence could be higher in Joshua Van, but don't ever want to put too much confidence in a fighter who's like literally kind of just on their second fight, still very fresh. I mean, the kid only like 21, 22 years old. So yeah, confidence could be higher, but ain't gonna get too overzealous, too giddy, too put too much eggs in the basket that's not even fully developed. But yeah, going against Kevin Borjas, I can't really see where Kevin Borjas has an edge in this one. I feel like Joshua Van is a more technical grappler. I feel like he's the more technical, more fluid, more technical. I already said the same thing like twice. More dynamic striker than Kevin Borjas. Yeah, it's as simple as that. I think he's the better overall fighter. They both kind of fought, I guess, similar matchup in the last fight, kind of fought grapplers in the last fight, but different levels, much different levels. And Joshua Van was able to pass his test. Borjas was able to pass his test. But again, like better competition, better overall fighter. Everything kind of is leaning to Joshua Van here, and I think I'm gonna go with like a second round TKO. I feel like decision kind of look like more likely, but let me go second round TKO. I feel it's very possible, especially if Joshua Van wants to make a statement. He was definitely touching Zhalgas up, and Zhalgas is a very sturdy guy. Like he might have been stopped a couple times in his career, but it's very hard to really affect Zhalgas. And the fact that he didn't get a stoppage over Zhalgas, but he was able to hurt him sometimes, I feel like he can pull off a stoppage over Kevin Borjas. So second round TKO, just be faster, sharper, more technical, and better overall. So in this one, I got Joshua Van via second round TKO. Now over to Nikki Betts.
Yeah, I'm leaning Joshua Van on this one too for sure. They both have an average fight time of 15 minutes, which I think is safe for the over 1.5. I definitely think Joshua Van can get to TKO at some point. He gets it about 71% of the time. Joshua Van is 8-1. Kevin Borjas is 9-1, which are pretty good records for both guys. But as far as what I feel and what I think Joshua Van should be able to to handle whatever Kevin Borjas tries to dish out. And I think he could probably get the TKO. Like it said, it gets it about 71% of the time. But I'll lean decision in this one. But more than likely, I'm probably not going to bet that. I'll bet the over 1.5, just because both guys have pretty solid records and only lost one time, and so that one of them's got to take a number two. So yeah, so I'll lean Joshua Van via decision. Actually, Joshua Van third round TKO, just because he gets it so often. And I will definitely bet the over 1.5 on this one.
All right, cool. Now to our next one. We have in the bantamweight division, we got Kyung Ho Kang versus John Castaneda in high flyweight right here. I'm going low confidence John Castaneda to beat Kyung Ho Kang. And yeah, I know Kyung Ho Kang is a solid talent, been very underrated. I don't know. I think he probably did military service or something, but I feel like he's been a underrated kind of dark horse type fighter. I won't even say dark horse guy. I know he's very good, but is he that good? I don't think so. But definitely very talented, very unrelated. I say unrelated, but underrated and under the radar top fighter for many years. But I feel he does have some bad tendency a lot of times to fight fighters where they're best at. And it's not like he's John Jones or something. So typically for guys doing that, that's not the best. Or he's not no Alexander Volkanovski. So again, when you're typically not those guys, it's not the best idea. And it did cause him to lose in one fight. Like, he could have just outstruck and probably knocked out. Matter of fact, he would have outstruck and probably knocked out Ronnie Yaya, but he decided to grapple with Ronnie Yaya. That was dumb. I feel like in the last fight, he probably could have had a much more grappling success, but I think he went for like one takedown. He still won, but he fought a much harder fight than he needed to fight to win. And at this point in your career, you want to be making smart decisions and stuff. So I can't really get behind a fighter in this one who doesn't make the best decisions. Like I say, I can see if you were like 23, 25, 26, go out there and do the crazy things. Or you already got a belt and stuff. You want to just make yourself even more legendary, do some crazy stuff like that. But at this point, you're kind of up like 34, 35, and you're not really, like, you're not fighting for the belt, not there right now. This time we just start making all the smart decisions. And yeah, I'm getting off topic, but again, I just can't really get behind a guy who's making a bad decision. I feel like this one, yeah, he probably have a different way, but I feel like he's gonna end up getting a lot of exchanges with Castaneda, and it's gonna be a very, very close fight. But I think Castaneda is gonna be able to outwork him. We're gonna probably engage Castaneda where he's best at, in that kind of brawling and that fiery type of fight. There's a lot of exchanging, and techniques are gonna be thrown to the wind a little bit, and Castaneda is gonna thrive in that a little bit. Not to say Castaneda is not a technical fighter, but I do think he's a fighter that would thrive better in a brawl, whereas Young Ho Kang would do better fighting from a distance, or getting the takedown and using his very solid grappling skills out there. But yeah, I think Young Kane is gonna go out there and end up getting caught up in a Castaneda type fight, or a fight that favors Castaneda, end up losing a close decision. But a high level fight between two skilled competitors. But I think Young Kane's tendency is gonna bite him in the butt. So in this one, I got John Castaneda via decision. Now to Nikki Betts.
Yeah, this kind of reminds me of the Benoit Saint Denis versus Matt Frivola fight, in the sense that, like, Matt Frivola will go wherever and do whatever he wants, and Benoit Saint Denis will kind of let them take the lead a little bit and try to feed off of that and take advantage of their miscalculations and not making the right decision at the right moment and getting caught up in something. I agree. I think Castaneda definitely wins this one. I think the odds reflect really well, though. It's almost a pick 'em. But Kyung Ho Kang has lost 9 fights, won 19, and I think that you're absolutely on point with it. I think he just, maybe it's his ego, maybe it's his inability to listen to his coaches. It's something, but I think he never just keeps the fight going where he can win. I know he won his last fight, but I don't think that he does enough in this one to win. So for that, I'll give it to Castaneda. I won't bet on either one, just because I think the odd, like I said, reflects so well. Castaneda is minus 148 and Kyung Ho Kang is plus 124. But their average fight time is John Castaneda's is 11 minutes 48 seconds, and Kyung Ho Kang is 12 minutes 6 seconds. So I'll definitely bet the over on this one. Both guys seem to go there, but I do see how there could be a possibility where both guys get a finish, on either side, but I don't think it happens under 1.5. So in this one, I got John Castaneda via decision, but my bet will be over 1.5.
All right, cool. Now to our next one, we have in the lightweight division, we got Jared Gordon versus Mark Madsen, and how I feel about this one right here. I'm going average confidence. Jared Gordon to beat Mark Madsen. Yeah, so average confidence, Jared Gordon to beat Mark Madsen. I just think Jared Gordon is the better overall fighter. I feel like Mark Madsen, he will be the better wrestler, and that's clear. Silver medalist, Greco-Roman, but not much else. I feel like Jared Gordon is the much more technical striker. I guess I think you could edge for him the fact that Jared Gordon did get, headbutt TKO or headbutt KO'd by Bobby Green. That I guess somebody go for, but it's not like what's his name? It's not
Patty
like
Pimlet.
but he beat Patty Pimblett, but it's not like
yeah, Patty Pimlet. Yeah, that's what I
yeah.
thought you were talking about. Yeah.
But yeah, it's not like Mark Madsen is really a finisher type fighter, or really got to carries a whole lot of power, has really shown to really hurt anyone. So I think typically when you say a guy's returning too soon, it's typically when they're going with a guy that has shown an ability to hurt him. Like you just got knocked out, now you're going in with Ilya Taporia, like Volkanovski going to. That's when you're kind of concerned. But you're going in with going with a pillow punching guy or a guy that's a wrestler who's not really a knockout. It don't really apply the same. And it's not like Jared Gordon. I mean, it's not like Mark Madsen has the grappling ability of Grant Dawson. He's a wrestler. He could be an issue with that, but I feel like Jared Gordon can outpace. He has always been able to push amazing pace, get up. He was able to get up from Grant Dawson several times in that fight. So I think he'll be able to deal with the early, adversity against Mark Madsen, and then really be able to force and push a grind onto Mark Madsen. And now in the striking department, and maybe even mix his own takedowns as Mark Madsen starts to fade. And I think I think Jared Gordon is just the better overall fighter, and I think he actually could push the better pace, and I think he could definitely address the wrestling of Mark Madsen. Especially, it's gonna be easier because it's not gonna have that grappling with it, that BJJ with it, just gonna be like wrestling. So yeah, I just think Jared Gordon outworks him. Like gets him out that first round, and then really starts to outwork him. Then really probably starts going for his own takedowns and securing them later in the fight once he starts to break down Mark Madsen. So in this one, I got Jared Gordon via decision. Now over to Nikki Betts.
Yeah, I definitely agree on the Patty Pimblett one. He definitely won that fight. I bet on Patty Pimblett, so in that moment I was like, all for Jared Gordon losing, but I think you're right. I think Jared Gordon is just a little step ahead. I think a little bit more experienced. Like I could see this going like the Raul Rosas Jr. versus C-Rod Christian Rodriguez fight, where he's just a little bit better than him, so he's going to beat him, and that's kind of what I see in this fight. Similar to the last few fights, actually. But I won't bet either guy in this one. I bet Jared Gordon will get it done by decision, but in this one I'll go over 1.5 is my official bet, just because Jared Gordon, his average fight time is 11 minutes 30 seconds, almost 29. And his opponent's is 11 minutes 39 seconds. So I think the over on this one is pretty safe. I also thought the under on the Bonfim fight, but I also bet that fight didn't go the distance. So I did it a few different ways, but I'll probably just bet the over on this one and a parlay on the side. But yeah, I got Jared Gordon by decision for sure.
All right, cool. Now to our next one, we have in the lightweight division, we got Nazim Sadikov versus Vyacheslav Borishev. And how I feel about this one right here, I'm going low confidence Vyacheslav Borishev to beat Nazim Sadikov. With this one, I think Sadikov is an amazing talent. I'm not gonna say amazing. He's a good talent. He's a good kid. He's a good fighter. He's a hell of a fighter, as Mayweather would say. But yeah, I'm just not really seeing the recipe from him that has beaten Borishev. Despite recipes and formulas and schematics and all this stuff, this is a good competitive scrap, no matter where it takes place. But I do like the fact when fighters come in with the full schematics or the full I guess cheat codes, I guess, or the blueprint, I guess. And he doesn't have the blueprint in this one. we look at the two people who have beaten him, and Jacasey and Mike Davis, they have wrestled him. And the Sadikov might come from a wrestling heavy gym, but we have not really seen much wrestling success from him. Just like with Bazooka, like they're supposed to be coming from the gym, but I think between the two of them, it was like 3 takedowns between the two guys over like 5-6 fights between the two guys. So they aren't really haven't shown great success wrestling. If anything, they have shown greater success getting wrestled than they have shown offensively wrestling. And I think Borshev has shown to be able to outstrike these other guys. And even Jacasey and Mike Davis, they have both shown pretty solid striking in the UFC, and neither of them really wanted to strike with Borshev. Not saying they couldn't, but they saw that the path of least resistance. And Sadikov has not shown the ability to take that path of least resistance. So, yeah, I think he's going to end up striking with Borshev too much. And I think, yeah, it's going to play to his disfavor, and I think he gets caught. I think it'll be a very close back and forth fight, but I think he's going to get caught complacent on the feet, may feel like he's in the fight. Like, that's what Borshev would do. He's going to lure him into a false sense of security. That's what Sadikov's already going to have, because, he's this fighter. He feels like he's this and feel like he's that. Not to say that he has ego or anything, but yeah, you're going to be holding your own on the feet. But that's, again, not the smartest path, and I feel like he's going to get made to pay for it. I think he gets caught in the second round, winding minutes of that second round, and then Borshev puts him away. So in this one, I have Vyacheslav Borshev via second round TKO. Now over to Nikki Betts.
Yeah, this one's a tough one as well. The odds reflect perfectly. Sadikov is minus 166 and Borshev is plus 140. And Nazim Sadikov is 9-1, Borshev is 7-3. So I think that you look at their significant strikes, they're almost identical landed per minute. The absorbed per minute, Nazim Sadikov is just a little bit more, and then their defense is identical at 56. I think it's a competitive fight. I think it's going to be hard to call a winner in this one. I won't be mad if either guy wins. I'm gonna definitely be in there in person to watch it, and it'll be I won't bet on it, but I'll definitely enjoy it. I know that. So just like the Jared Gordon fight, I gained a lot of respect for Jared Gordon after the Paddy Pimblett fight. I felt really bad for him, even though I won a bunch of money. But yeah, in this one, I'll go Nazim Sadikov via decision. I don't know if I'll touch the over 1.5. I might. Their average fight time is 9 minutes and 35 seconds for Sadikov and 9 minutes 22 seconds for Borishev. So I think it's pretty safe, but I probably won't play with it just because it's so close to that number. And you're right, Borshev could easily lull Sadikov into a position where he doesn't want to be in and pay for it. So yeah, that's my official decision, is Sadikov by decision.
All right, cool. Now to our next fight. We have in the women's strawweight division, we got Tabitha Ricci versus Lupita Godinez. And how I feel about this one right here, I'll go Lupita Godinez, low confidence to beat Tabitha Ricci. I just feel like Tabitha Ricci just had this, right now, she just has this winning aura about her, and that's kind of concerning. But I do feel like Lupita Godinez has, been tested more, faced better opposition, and also she has been in these dog fights, win or lose, like Angela Hill or this fighter and that fighter, or Cynthia Calvillo. It's been a couple fights where I feel like I feel like Richie has not had that fight. I also feel like Lupita Godinez, she only like 1 inch tall. I feel like she has more wide, more dense than Baby Shark is. Yeah, I just think that adversity and that experience, that high level competition she has faced more so, win or lose, will help Lupita Godinez in the one. I do think she's the bigger, stronger grappler. Who knows if she's more technical or not in the grappling part? Probably not more technical grappler, but probably the better wrestler. Probably the more technical striker, or at least the more aggressive striker. And also, she has been in those wars more. So yeah, I'm going to go Lupita Godinez here. I just feel like, again, she's just more experienced, and I feel like she's more battle tested. And I think that will help her here. So in this one, I got Lupita Godinez via decision. Now off to Nikki Betts.
Yeah, there's not too much to say about this one. It's going to be another competitive fight. That's my opinion. I think that's probably the consensus on the internet that these two will probably duke it out for 15 minutes. I Their average fight time, Tabitha Ritchie's is 12 minutes 3 seconds, and Lupe Godinez's is 13 minutes 6 seconds. So I'll definitely bet the over on this one. It seems pretty fair. I think the odds reflect pretty well. It's almost a pick 'em as well, plus 136 to minus 162. Their stats are almost identical. TKO, sub, and decision. But I think that it's a competitive fight, but I think Lupe Godinez gets it done in the end. I think she gets it done via decision. So in this one, I got Lupe Godinez by decision. I'm not betting that. I'm going to bet the one over 1.5 for sure.
All right, cool. Now on to our next fight. We have in the flyweight division, we got Steve Erceg versus Alessandro Costa. And how I feel about this one right here is I'm going to average confidence Steve Erceg to beat Alessandro Costa. This is straight up to the point. I feel like Steve Erceg is the better overall fighter, and he'll be much bigger. He's a pretty huge flyweight. He's like 5'6", 5'7", maybe even 5'8", so a huge flyweight. And I think Costa's about average flyweight, like 5'4". So he got a huge height advantage, huge size advantage, and he sports it pretty good. It's not like he's a big flyweight that got cardio issues and this big bully. I mean, he is kind of a size bully, but he don't have like the cardio issues, and he's pretty well rounded. My big concern is like I don't really know how well his wrestling defense is, or could Costa potentially test it. But other than that, I just think he should be definitely be the more technical striker, and he had that reach to exploit. And I definitely think he can keep this fight on the feet. Be able to address the grappling of Costa. And I just think he's gonna be too big, too long, and pretty technical on the feet. And I think he outstrikes Costa to a decision victory here. So in this one, I have Steven Erceg via decision. Not over to Nikki Betts.
Yeah, I see this one going a lot like Steve Erceg's last fight, and he did really well in his debut. I was very impressed. I think that he figures out a way to prevent the takedown and keeps it standing and points up Costa pretty easily. Steve's, like you said, he's a big guy. He's already number 14th after his debut, so I gotta respect that as well. And he's also he's a pretty decorated fighter coming out of Australia who's kind of done his time and earned his stripes, and you got to have respect for it. And I think that if he's not careful, Costa can exploit it. But I do think Steve is just a more skilled and experienced fighter, and I give it to Steve by decision as well. But as far as over 1.5, it's not loading, so I don't know. I don't know if I bet the over 1.5 on this, just because Steve looked so good against his last opponent, and he might pull off an upset. So I probably won't bet that. I'll probably bet Steve Erceg money line, just because he earned my trust in his last fight. So in this one, I got Steve Erceg by decision, but I'm gonna bet him money line.
All right. Now to our next one, we have in the featherweight division, we got Pat Sabatini versus Diego Lopez, and high football is one right here. I'm going low confidence Diego Lopez to beat Pat Sabatini. I feel like Diego Lopez seems like he has everything he needs to beat Pat Sabatini, but it's definitely things I dislike. I feel like he's too accepting of the bottom position, because he feels like he can get submission on his back. And I feel like that's necessarily the style you will want against Pat Sabatini, but hey, it's like he gets threatened off his back. He's not going to just be a dead fish, and that's good. And it seems like he can be aggressive enough on the feet. And I feel like if it was pure striking match, he probably would knock Sabatini. I feel like anyone pretty much in a pure striking matchup with Sabatini, that's anyone would knock past Sabatini out in a pure striking. He's not a very good striker. But yeah. So I feel like, if he could threaten submission, whether it be threatening submission or getting back to his feet and really pressing Sabatini and touching Sabatini, I feel like he can get it done. But again, my concern is, are you going to be so comfortable going to the ground that Sabatini's going to be a neutralized submission pass to like half guard and just really shut down your submissions, kind of like Mobsar Evloev did. So I got my concerns, but I think I do think at the end of the day, I think Diego Lopez is a good dog. And I would definitely think will keep Sabatini honest the whole fight on the feet and on the ground, threatening with submissions. And yeah, I think club and sub second round, but very back and forth fight. But he's gonna frustrate Sabatini, make him uncomfortable, and then make him make mistakes, and then make him pay for those mistakes. So in this one, I got Diego Lopez via second round submission. None over to Nikki Betts.
Yeah, I think this is Diego Lopez's chance to earn his stripes and get the win that he's been working towards. I definitely think his Mozart fight gave him the ability to know that he could beat people. And he didn't beat him that fight, but he came pretty damn close. And his last fight, he came pretty damn close. Oh, he won his last fight. I could have sworn he lost his last fight, but no, I was wrong. Yeah, I'll bet Diego Lopez in this one for sure. I think that he's done well as Alexa Grasso's coach, and I think it's BJJ. And I do think he just needs to make sure that he doesn't make those simple mistakes that you outline. I do think that he can, and he has in the past. But I think if he's trained like he should have, I think that he should be able to get this pretty easily. I'll go third round submission by Diego Lopez.
All right, cool. Now to our next one, we have in the lightweight division, we got Matt Frevola versus Benoit Saint-Denis. So Matt Frevola versus Benoit Saint-Denis. So the people's main event. And how I feel about this one right here is I'm going low confidence Benoit Saint-Denis to beat Matt Frevola. I feel like Frevola has a very good shot to win this one, and he has good odds to win this one as well at plus 185. I think the biggest issue with Benoit Saint-Denis is that he does leave his chin up, and I feel like he can have definitely a similar fate to Drew Dober, attacking the body and then coming back on like a straight line with your head up, like just throwing back and then returning your head right to where it was before you do shot, and could easily get caught. And I saw him get caught several times by Moises, Eliza Zaleski, and Bonfim. So he's susceptible to getting caught. But what I do feel is like he does have a good bit of momentum behind him. I feel like he's very big and strong for the weight class. He'll look to pressure, really impose himself upon Matt Frevola. And I think this will be a slugfest. I think this will be a bang out affair. I think both guys will be connecting on each other, clicking on each other. But it'll be a very close affair. But I think Benoit Saint-Denis, ultimately his size and pressure will be able to allow him to edge a very close decision over Matt Frevola here. But I think it'll be a very, very competitive fight, very high level fight. But I think Benoit Saint-Denis edges the fight in a close decision. So in this one, I got Benoit Saint-Denis via decision. None over to Nikki Betts.
Oh man, this one's so hard. I definitely became a fan of Benoit Saint-Denis after his last fight. He won me some money, and the fight before that, he won me some money as well. I do like that he's a French Navy SEAL. I mean, there's just a lot to respect about him. He's 12. His record reflects 12-1, but I think he lost one more fight, I want to say, but I guess he didn't. I think this is an extremely competitive fight. I think both guys are at the top of their game. I think, like you said, this is the people's main event. This is what I'm going to Madison Square Garden. The specific reason I'm going is because of this fight, because I want to see this fight and I want to be there in person to see it. I root for Matt Frevola. He's kind of been an underdog in a lot of his fights where people think, Drew Dober's just going to starch him or, whatever. But he keeps proving everybody wrong. And I think the trend continues. I think he proves the betting odds wrong. And I'm going to bet the money line on him on this one. Both guys, their average fight time Matt's is 7 minutes 57 seconds, 8 minutes 16 seconds for Benoit Saint-Denis. I won't bet the over on this one just because it's so close once again. But I will bet the money line on Matt Frevola. I already got him in one of my parlays. I'll probably do a few more before the week is out. So in this one, I got Matt Frevola via third round TKO, but I'm going to bet the money line on this one.
All right, cool. Now to our next one, we have in the women's strawweight division, we got Jessica Andrade versus Mackenzie Dern in high Florida right here. I'm going to go low confidence Mackenzie Dern to beat Jessica Andrade. I feel like it's a momentum pick. And you could say, like, in the past, like, I definitely was one of the main people that would say Mackenzie Dern got one of the worst takedown averages in all of MMA. She's like, that's where she's like wins fights is on the ground. She's a BJJ specialist, and she got like 4% takedown offense accuracy. Like, that's crazy. Like, that's where you want to get the fight. But I feel like she's been working to improve that. We've seen that in the Angela Hill fight, and we have seen that in other fights where she's getting like a takedown in this round. Like, went from getting like no takedowns in the fight to one takedown to two takedowns. So you might say, oh, this is bad and that's bad, but she's been working on it. You might not have been getting that overnight or that instant gratification with her takedown success, but I feel she's been working on it hard in her game. And I think she will be able to get at least one or two takedowns in this fight. And I think she'll make the most of that. I think this will be a scrappy fight. I definitely think Andrade will be landing clean shots on her, but I feel like Dern will be eating them and just keep coming forward like the tank she is. Surprisingly enough, she's a BJJ person, but she could take a good shot. We have seen her plenty of fights going, taking wallopings, but still in the fight and find her ways to find, her ways to get it to the ground. Pretty much use her face as a meat shield to get it to the ground. But yeah, I think she'll be able to get it to the ground, and I think when she gets it to the ground, I think she taps out Jessica Andrade. So I think this will be a crazy fight. Probably the first round she won't really be able to get much done on the ground, but in the second round, I think once she gets into the ground in a wild exchange, I think she's able to turn, really bring out her red belt, bring out her black belt, and then start to slice through Andrade on the ground like butter, then tap her out second round. So in this one, I got Mackenzie Dern via second round submission. Not up to Nikki Betts.
Yeah, this one, man, another competitive fight, like you said. I like both girls. I think they both got a lot of heart. They both got a lot of grit. They both definitely will get in there and work at what works best for them. Jessica Andrade is coming off a loss, and Mackenzie Dern's coming off a win. So I'm gonna lean Mackenzie Dern in this one. I probably will bet her money line as well. I don't know what the odds are, but it's pretty close, I believe, not too far apart, which makes sense because Jessica Andrade is definitely dangerous. But I think, like you said, she grinds her out and just figures out a way to do what works best for her and win this one that way. Mackenzie Dern, 90% of her wins come by decision or 10% by sub. So I'm going to bet the over on this one, but I'll also bet the money line, Mackenzie Dern. I think she gets it done by decision. I don't think Jessica Andrade will allow herself to make too many mistakes, but the mistakes that she does make, Mackenzie Dern will definitely capitalize. So this one, I got low confidence, Mackenzie Dern money line and over 1.5.
Okay, now to our next one. We have in our co-main event for the interim heavyweight title, we got Sergey Pavlovich versus Tom Aspinall in the heavyweight division because John Jones got injured. So we got an interim title on the line. In high football, this one right here is I'm going average confidence Tom Aspinall to beat Sergey Pavlovich. I just feel like Tom Aspinall is the better overall fighter. He has the actual grappling, has shown submission skills, has shown takedowns. Pavlovich has only really shown the ability to knock people out. He hasn't really shown a full-fledged game. And the one time he was facing the adversity, he seemed to crumble. So I got to go Tom Aspinall. I feel like there's more upside to him. And, he is the slight favorite right now. I think he's faster. I think he's more sharper. I think he's a little bit bigger. But, yeah, I think he should be the better fighter. And I think it's going to be a decent affair. But I think it's going to be a short affair. Kill or be killed. Both these guys are finishers. So this fight's going to be definitely probably under 2.5. And that's probably the mark to go for this one. And I think Aspinall gets him out there in the second round. I think it'll be like a fill-out process in the first round. They both be respecting each other's power. Aspinall will be using his lateral motion, probably looking to tack the legs a little bit, tack the knees a little bit, and just really throw off the timing of Pavlovich first and set him up for his shots later on. Then the second round, I think Pavlovich probably a little bit frustrated getting beat to the punch and not really be able to plan his feet the way he wants to and not really get a motion flow going. He starts to make sloppy mistakes, and I think Aspinall makes him pay, counters, cracks him, then follow him to the mat and finishes him off on the ground with some more ground and pound to get him out of there. So in this one, I got Tom Aspinall via second round TKO. Now up to Nikki Betts.
Yeah, this one, it's definitely going to be a scrap. Tom Aspinall is the bigger fighter, but Pavlovich has like almost 7 inches and 6 inches in reach, which is a lot. That's that's a lot for any man, if you want to say it like that. But I do think that if he uses Aspinall's side to side movement against him, I think it could definitely work in his favor. But I think, like you said, Tom Aspinall is a um, more balanced fighter. He has the better resume. He definitely has never had a bad performance. Yeah, his knee blew out or whatever. I think his ACL or something. But that's like a freak accident. So you can't really calculate those things into your bank of information. I think Sergey Pavlovich is definitely a top and up and coming prospect. I appreciate that they made this fight because I love Tom Aspinall, and I do like Sergey Pavlovich a lot too. I'm a bigger fan of Tom Aspinall, so I'll lean Tom Aspinall on this one. Um, as far as their fight time, their average fight time, Pavlovich is 2 minutes 23 seconds, and Aspinall is 2 minutes 19 seconds. But I think this is a lot more competitive than that. I will probably bet the money line for both guys, and I'll also bet the under 2.5. I'll take that from you, and I'll definitely utilize that in my parlay. So yeah, in this one I got Tom Aspinall via second round submission.
All right, cool. Now to our main event. We have in the light heavyweight division for the undisputed light heavyweight title between Jerry Prohaska versus Alex Pereira. So we got the former middleweight champion in Alex Pereira. We got the former double champion of Glory Kickboxing in Alex Pereira versus the former light heavyweight champion in Jerry Prohaska. So we got both of John Jones, I guess, belts, our former belts going in. Never lost either belt. So yeah, cool thing right there going. But as far as this one goes, I'm going low confidence, Alex Pereira to beat Jerry Prohaska. When I already always envisioned this matchup even before it was really even thought of like that, like, how Pereira would do at light heavyweight, even like before he fought Adesanya the first time. I always thought Pereira would have, I would probably have high confidence or at least average confidence going there, but I'm really low going this one. It kind of feels like Pereira should not be able to walk in here and win two belts the way he did, like go down there, win a belt, get knocked out, and come up, win one fight, and then win another fight, and now he's a double champion. This kind of like a weird thing to happen, but just judging based off their styles, I got to go Pereira here. And like I said, the confidence has dropped from high to average to low. Head canon predictions before I even predicted this fight. But now in present day, the fight's about to happen in like a couple days. But yeah, I just feel like Pereira gets rocked every single fight. Every single fight he gets rocked. He doesn't check leg kicks at all. He's always open for the hook, and that's Pereira's best weapon. I think where his X factor or his hidden tool could be, maybe looking to grapple. And I feel he can have great success there if he's able to do that. We haven't really seen him do that. That has never really been a part of his game. And also, we don't know how that injury is going to affect him as well. So it's a lot of different things not to like about this fight on both sides. But I just judging both fighters, I feel like stylistically wise, Jerry is a striker. He's like might have be a more well-rounded fighter, but it might have good scrambles against wrestlers. But as far as actually going out and getting takedowns, he doesn't really do that. And he's not like he has had super great success doing that either. So I think all I can see is it's a striking match, and Pereira is the two-division kickboxing champion for a reason. I think he could definitely chew up the legs of Prohaska. He doesn't defend him. Prohaska is very unorthodox, but still very hittable. No leg kick checks. Come a lot of times with his chin hanging up. Matter of fact, his chin's always hanging out there. And I just think it's gonna be a short fight, a good time, but not a long time. Another under 2.5 type fight. And I'm leaning second round TKO for Pereira. Just chew the legs up. Jerry try coming in and be wild and unorthodox and creative and stuff. Coming there and just throwing punches and leaving the chin up, getting caught with hooks, getting knee to the body, getting legs chewed up. But then it's gonna be a crazy fight. Like, Pro's gonna be coming out there and engaging and throwing caution to wind as he always does. And he's gonna have success with it. But I feel like Pereira's gonna have the more consistent success in and less I guess hoping and swinging and just like chaos versus like cleaner technique and all the experience he has, I feel like he'll be able to deal with that. I think he'll be able to walk Prohaska into a counter, drop him, finish him off second round. So in this one, I have Alex Pereira via second round TKO. None over to Nikki Betts.
Yeah, I got to agree with Matt Provola on this. I like Yuri
Massive.
Prohaska. He said he likes Yuri Prohaska because he's got that samurai mentality. And I that's why I'm going to choose him in this one. But I think you're absolutely right. He leaves his chin out there all the time. He leaves his hands down all the time, and he kind of just fades in and out. And you can't do that with Alex Pereira. It's a mistake. Everybody who's done it has paid for it. Sean Strickland, who's now the champion, kind of just threw his hands up before he got knocked out. And he's pretty good about putting his hands out there and kind of throwing stupid punches that help to make the punch either miss or like deflect completely. And Alex Pereira just saw right through that and just 1-2, bam, got him. And I don't think I think Yuri's got this like stupid man's strength, stupid man's like idea of the world, like where he just like go as hard as you can. He's gonna get kicked in the leg, get the leg chopped up, which is gonna prevent the easier takedowns, which he should take advantage of early on in the fight. He did kind of hint to the fact that he might be using his BJJ in wrestling in this one, and that Alex is out of his element because of the fact that, but he trains with Glover Teixeira, who, Yuri did make tap. But the thing is like, it's so hard for me to want to bet against Yuri, and Alex. I don't think he likes me very much. I saw him and I was like, "Hey, buddy, can I grab an autograph?" And he just kind of looked at me. And I looked up and kept it moving, and I was just like, I didn't want to bug anyone, but you could tell, like, everybody who said that they interacted with him was just like, yeah, he just was kind of didn't really want to engage. So we'll see how he feels this weekend. But I think Alex definitely has a great shot if he finds those moments when Yuri does, lets his hands drop and comes in and lets himself get popped, because Alex Pereira is definitely a knockout artist. He's definitely got some great skills as far as that goes. But I'll be leaning very, very low confidence as well. Yuri Prohaska, I want to see him win. I want to see him become champion. I want to see him defend his belt, maybe fight John Jones one day. So in this one, I have a low confidence Yuri Prohaska, but I'm going to go inside the distance for my bet.
All right, cool. And that wraps up the predictions. So now on to the parlays. And yeah, I'm just gonna keep it quick with this parlay. So for my parlay, it's gonna be Steven Erceg, Joshua Van, and it's gonna be under 2.5 in the Aspinall versus Pavlovich, or the Pavlovich versus Aspinall fight. So again, Steven Erceg, Joshua Van, and under 2.5 in the Pavlovich Aspinall fight. So Pavlovich Aspinall under 2.5. Not over to Nikki Betts. What's your parlay or parlays?
Yeah, I'll take Erceg in this one. I'll take Matt Frivola. His fight doesn't go the distance. I'll take Mackenzie Dern. I don't want to go Tom Aspinall, but I'm going to do it. Tom Aspinall. And the Yuri Prohaska fight, I'll go under 3.5. So my full parlay is Steven Erceg. Matt Frivola's fight doesn't go the distance. Tom Aspinall and Yuri Prohaska inside the distance. I'll take the 1.5 or 2.5 out of it.
All right, cool. And that's the video. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and come back for more videos. Peace.